I wanted to do this video because I have found like some people try and claim that some Muslims can have a different sect of supposed Islam where they believe in other things other than the Quran. I wanted to point this out. I mean, like, I specifically am watching a video where this guy is specifically saying he thinks that the Prophet that they think that Muhammad specifically has more power than the Word of God, basically. They worship the Prophet. You know, they're not monotheists, for sure. And they don't believe in the Quran. So if they don't believe in the Quran, how can they be Muslim? It's so weird. To me, it's like, okay, you can think, it's wrong to believe in the Quran. I mean, they're Christians, they're Jews, they're Hindus, Buddhists, who think it's not right to believe in the Quran. Of course, that's why they believe in other faiths. But one thing that makes them a little bit more sensible than these type of people is they still have the insanity to claim they're Muslims, yet you don't even believe in the Quran. How can you claim you're a Muslim when you don't even believe in the Quran? I think people who believe in the Hadith and believe in the Sunnah and think that the Sunnah is better than the Quran, they should believe in whatever they want to believe in because that's their choice in life. That's the path they make in their life. But what I mean is that they should never try and go about claiming they're a Muslim while not believing in the Quran. You don't believe in the Quran, so why are you talking about being a Muslim? You have already said you're not a believer, okay? You're not a believer in the Quran. It's really interesting too. Like here, they're saying that Quranic Muslims, people who believe in Islam and believe in the Quran and only the Quran, they think that they're specifically disbelievers or animals or apostates or hypocrites. Which is so weird because it's like, could you explain at least how people are disbelievers when they're specifically saying they're believers in the Quran? They're literally believers. You're just mad that you're a disbeliever. I would think it's silly, weird. Why is anyone describing anyone as an animal because of the way they believe? I wouldn't describe people who believe in the Hadith as quite animals. My thing is the concerning issue is the vehement acceptance and love for pedophilia among them, thinking that it must be okay to have sex with a girl who just started her period. And I say girl for a reason, because she's not a woman just because she has a period. So anyway, my whole point in this is just that, many of the time the people trying to claim they're Muslim aren't even Muslims. So I don't understand why they claim to be Muslims, But I wanted to point out, like, some things here to basically point out that there's a lot of persecution among actual Muslims in these types of societies in certain countries, specifically in the Middle East. You do not see it actually in any other part but the Middle Eastern regions or places associated with the Middle East. When I say that, people who identify with Arabs or whatever. But, it's interesting to me because it's like, they want to kill the actual Muslims. And I think the reason they want to do that, I don't think is because they actually think they're disbelievers, obviously, because they believe in the Quran, right? You believe in Islam the way that it was originally, as far as the message was originally presented, and how it has always been, in my opinion. I think that Islam has always been off of the Quran. Now, people can deviate from that and choose not to be Muslims. Anyone can do that, you know? And it's kind of weird to me when some people say, for those who believe in the Hadith, that they can believe in the Hadith and still believe in the Quran when they have opposing views and they still choose to believe in the Hadith. And not just that, but you could agree with something in the Quran that doesn't make you a Muslim because you don't believe in everything in the Quran. Say, Christians believe in some things in the Quran, okay? They agree with certain things in the Quran because they're different things, like, as far as, like, um, different morals and things of that nature can line up, you know? Different things can line up because that's how it is. You can believe one thing, one sentence in the Quran. I can believe one sentence in the Bible. Probably more sentences than that. But I'm just saying, for example, that's not going to make me a Christian, and that's not going to make that Christian a Muslim. So I don't understand when they say, I believe in some parts of the Quran, but I will defer to the Hadith. Well, then, really, in reality, you believe in the Hadith. Your religion is ruled by the Hadith. It is not ruled by the Quran. You are not a believer of the Quran. You are a disbeliever of the Quran. So it's like really funny, like when they say they're not Muslim. I mean, they're Muslims and we are not. But it's like you don't even believe in the Quran. So clearly you're not Muslim. You just don't like that actual Muslims are making you look like you are not a Muslim. And I feel like they hold on to the idea of being Muslim because they want that respect, basically. When people think that they're Muslim, they give them a little bit more of respect in the sense that, oh, they think it's their religion. And some people will think, oh, they're more willing to respect that than, say, a pagan, like old traditional Arabic religion, because many of their customs have to do with their pagan background, not specifically the religion of Islam. So my thing is, it's just like, I don't understand why people don't pay attention to this. You know, they've been trying to hide under the guise of religion for so long when all we had to do is really pay attention to the truth of what they're really doing and realize it's really mainly off of a culture and historical practices that they've had that I guess you could say is its own religion, but it's certainly not Islam. So that's what I wanted to say there. I wanted to also show how many countries that are predominantly Muslim who have tortured and had the death penalty for Muslims who are actually, Muslims who believe in the Quran only. And, there's actually one guy who's literally charged with the death penalty um, for simply believing in the Quran and having a belief that's basically centered on the Quran, you know. So, to me, I just think, like, there's also other things that are known about this, like, specifically, people who are actually Muslim are actually seen as specifically people who are religiously persecuted. And they seek asylum because of religious persecution. And to me, it's just like, because that's the case, it's like, I don't understand why we don't realize these people are not motivated by religion. They're motivated by their own vigilante, extremist culture. And I think that believing in the Hadith and having this type of behavior where you think that everyone must accept as you do just because you may feel inferior or feel like you're not doing it right, or you'll feel guilty, or you won't feel like a monotheist because, I mean, like many of these people, they worship Muhammad. They don't worship just God, they worship Muhammad. And it's really weird to me how they think they're monotheists, even though, how can you be monotheist when you worship Muhammad? So one person I just watched, or well, actually read, they're specifically saying that you have to have submission to God and the prophet. Like, they literally believe in praising Muhammad like he's a second deity. They're not monotheists, they're polytheists. And that's just the truth. Now, I just think it's really a shame that they would try and be imposters to the Muslim religion, you know. But I wanted to put this out here because it seems like a lot of people get confused. They tend to act like actual Muslims do not exist, and things of that nature. But it's not. It's not that case. It's just that Muslims throughout time have been oppressed by people who are just pretending that they are Muslim. But if you really ask them the questions, you'll find, as it says here, Sunni Muslims don't even believe in the Quran. They think that the Sunnah is more important than the Quran. So they are believers in the Hadith. They are believers in the Sunnah. They are not believers in the Quran. So they are not Muslim. And that's why, to me, I've always felt like with Sunni and Shia people, I have always seen them as Sunni and Shia people. They are not Muslims. So that's all I have to say in this. Thanks for watching, everyone. Like and subscribe, comment down below, and have a great day. Bye, guys.